If you told the Desert Sun's music and film reporter, Bruce Fessier, he'd be celebrating 40 years at the paper this year, you'd hear a great big no way.
Yeah.
Way. Bruce is still at the Desert Sun 40 years later, and aren't we glad? Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Well put.
Are you surprised that you're still there?
Shocked. Absolutely shocked. Well, when I first started the Desert Sun, I expected to be there. I said, I'm going to give this a year. And then after a year, they made me, I started as a general assignment reporter. And after about 7 months, they made me the entertainment editor. And I said, well, this is going to be kind of fun. I'll give it a couple years. So I gave it a couple years, and then I started meeting some people that had big influences on my life, and they made me extend that for a few more years. Then I met my wife, and I said, well, we'll try it a little longer. And then I got married, we had kids. Next thing you know, it's 40 years.
What's been some of the most important things that you've done, that you've come away, that's changed your life, as you say?
My favorite accomplishments were things that happened outside of the newspaper, because I co-founded the Desert Theater League. I was on the original committee that founded the Palm Springs International Film Festival, and I've done a lot of things on the side.
Through your years, you've seen the industry change. What's been the biggest change for you?
Well, here in the desert particularly, there was no industry when I started here. I always say that when I started, there wasn't enough events to have a calendar. And now there are so many events, I don't have time to do a calendar.
And you've been instrumental in not only expanding the entertainment industry here, but also the McCallum Theater. I mean, weren't you kind of instrumental in getting that built?
That's probably my greatest journalistic achievement, if I could take a little bit of credit for it. And I only say that because Sidney Harmon, who was the director emeritus of the McCallum, credited me. I once asked him what the difference was between his efforts to build this theater in Palm Springs, which failed, even though he had Betty Ford on the board and he had a lot of high rollers. And he said, first you have to have an audience and let them demand to have a building. And I got behind it. So Sidney Harmon I asked him what's the difference between the Center Theater and the McCallum Theater, and he said, we had a journalist who had a passion for this theater.
How nice. What a nice pat on the back.
Yeah. This made me feel better than just about anything else I've ever done journalistically.
You've been able to endear yourself to a lot of these celebrities.
I've also irritated a lot of celebrities. I have a friend who counts my celebrity feuds.
Really? Oh, yeah. Who are they?
Well, I mean, the late, great Kay Ballard, for one. I mean, we had a feud that lasted years. I nominated her for a Lifetime Achievement Award for the Desert Theater League, and she got up there and said, I too have felt the rapier wit of Bruce Fessier. You know, so I panned her one time, you know. I didn't review her skills so much as her choice of material. She was using, and I used an unfortunate word, I said her material was threadbare. She was doing stuff that she was doing in the early 1960s. And she wouldn't do an interview with me. She wouldn't do anything to promote her show with the Desert Sun. And I finally asked someone could you please set up a lunch between Kay and myself? and so we sat down and I said, you know, you gotta let me write a story about this, you know. And as we were sitting, it was over at what is now the Parker, and she says, you know, you're not such a bad guy. and right at that time, Jack Jones comes walking by, and Jack was also very angry with me. And he goes, Jack, come on over here. And I made up with Jack Jones the same day. So
see what happens?
Yeah. Right.
And tomorrow in part 2 of our conversation with Bruce, he talks about one of the few times in the Desert Sun that they stopped the presses. It was for the death of Frank Sinatra. And this reminder, tomorrow night at 5 at the Rancho Mirage Library, Bruce will sit down with Jamie Kabler, founder of the Rancho Mirage Writers Festival. It's free and open to the public. And again, congratulations, Bruce. What a career with much more to come.